All right, folks. So just wanted to give a quick update on our very first cut at the SCSI announcement today. Okay, so we haven't got into the bowels of the report as such yet, but we were taken through a presentation by SCSI this morning at 10:15 that ran on till about 10 to 11, and then at 11 o'clock there was the webinar done by SCSI to the media. And then there was a press release by the minister, a written press release at 11:30, and the document was released. So we've been on Highland and stuff there since, so I haven't really got a chance to get through all of it. But we've got a decent feel for what's going on there. And I'd say overall, this is to be welcomed today. I think this gives us a platform now that we can certainly work with. Now, just to maybe fill in a little bit of the background there quickly, we were only made aware or confirmed yesterday, really, that this would be happening today, and the details of it. So we didn't get much of a chance to give you the heads up, but it's more important, I suppose, to get this thing done today and see what it was to come back with. SCSI, in fairness to them, the report was due on Monday, and we've got it here today, Thursday. So we wouldn't have minded them, if government and departments were able to stick to that sort of timeline and be out by 2 or 3 days, we would have been welcoming that all along. But it came today, and we're glad of it. Regards the contents of it, it was very much dictated in terms of reference by the department. Okay, so the 2007 regs, we knew that, and I've been talking about that all along. We'll still be debating all of that stuff with government, but that's what SCSI were asked to do, so we can't blame them for doing what they were asked to do by the government. The finishes, we know that we're not getting like for like in terms of, well-finished homes, back to well-finished homes necessarily. There is, basic finishes they're allowed for. We'll have to do our own thing on top of that. The good news in there is the whole salvage thing, and this reuse that they kept talking about and all the rest. They haven't priced for that at all. And from what I'm being led to believe in phone calls to officials, is that we will not be forced down the road of recycle and reuse, but the rates will still hold good. So if you want to recycle, reuse, that's extra money in your hip pocket for something else that you want to do. That's what we're being led to believe at this point in time. So we certainly welcome that. They also give 8 different house sizes and types as examples, and then for them they've put in total project costs, and they've put in the equivalent square foot rate then. So I think it starts off from memory there at 2,000 and somewhere around 900 square foot type thing, a 2-bed terraced house in an estate, up to then like a 5+ bedroom detached house out on its own, around 2,900 or 3,000 square foot. And they give different rates then accordingly for the different types and sizes in between. There's still some things needing done in that we have to, this expert panel, I'll talk about them in a second, but this expert panel then would sort of work out all the other house size and stuff in between, but it's like in between them goalposts, if you like. So it's never going to deviate too far from, it'll be sort of which does your house come closest to out of them 8 examples, and then work something along them lines. So that's what I'm expecting out of that. That expert panel is not a housing department panel. It's made up of 2 people from the housing department. It's made up of 3 from the housing agency. It's made up of an engineer, John Gallagher, engineer from Donegal County Council, an engineer from Mayo County Council, from Damien Owens, who's Engineers Ireland, the chair of it. John O'Connor is on it, importantly for us. So that's a fairly wider makeup of panel, which is not all about the housing department, which is what we really had to deal with during the working group, and was very frustrating and exhausting, to be honest. So I think this is a lot more positive here. Options 2 to 5 then, they're not really spelled out very well, because they're saying it's really site specific. And in fairness, that hasn't been our biggest gripe all along as a campaign. It's been more to do with the demolish and rebuild, and the rates we were given from there, which was just way off. Like in the old scheme alone, there's up to 220,000 there to be got, on the grant for option twos and hybrids of option twos. Not bad, but obviously, again, it needs in there somewhere, because if this is going to run for the next 10 years, there needs to be a process by which that increases every year as well, and that the rates are re-looked at. So the expert panel, I believe, will be getting more involved in that as well. We also have some questions is still out there and needs answer. We're not going to get them all today, we know that. For example, houses that are built 2014 that already have air to water pump systems, underfloor heating, they're better than the 2007 regs, and they said they're giving us like for like. So they can't go back the way. They have to give us like for like to 2014 regs for houses that are built with 2014 regs. So that type of stuff we still need to talk about and all of that. Site abnormalities. So say, for example, rising walls. I was over at a man's house not that long ago there. There's about 9 foot deep of footings. Okay. That needs to be included as site abnormalities. I mentioned that today as well at our meeting with SCSI, that type of thing, and they're happy enough that that should be part of the scope of the SCSI panel, but not, sorry, the expert panel, but not something that SCSI were asked to consider. Okay, so that I think we're in a workable place for a lot of this stuff. So there's definitely detail to be worked through, no doubt about that. But I do believe there's a lot more favourable today to the homeowner. I didn't go through the figures yet, but Eileen there just was telling me, or a quick chat when she ran some figures there. That sort of 2,000 square foot house, dormer bungalow type thing, is about €53,000 better off than where we were with that sliding scale system. So that's all good news for us there. We'll get more fleshed out on this. We'll be sending out the link for the entire document. You can read through it yourself. You'll see the table they've put together of house types and sizes. You'll see what's included. They've done a good job on that in terms of what's in the construction costs, what's not in the construction costs, and so on. So I think that's all good. But this is not a done deal. The minister now has to decide where he goes next with this. I think this is certainly a much, much better place. We would be encouraging him to have the strength of conviction now to see this through. He said all along he'd be respecting the independence of SCSI and the credibility of SCSI. They've done their bit. Now we need to see that the minister does his, and in fairness, that he's supported in doing that by his cabinet colleagues, the likes of Pascal Donoghue, Michael McGrath, and obviously the department themselves, all of which will be seen as drastically more generous than what they were prepared to give us the first time, and what they were prepared to give us the first time was abysmal. What we have now is fair. It's not massive hip pockets of money to go out and do everything we want to do, but it's probably what I'd say fair at this point in time. And were we ever going to get better than fair? So that's where we are. I think a good day. We needed a good day. We've got one. More details still be worked out, but we have a platform here that if the minister sees it through, we'll be all right. Okay, thanks.